So now here we go. I have it here. And moving on to the next slide. And so the agenda for today is review, first was introductions, and I'll go over the agenda. And then I'm going to do a quick crosswalk between SVF vision and the computer science coaching or computer science standards, and especially on equity and how it aligns together, and, see that it kind of meshes together so that our purpose of the work is the same. After that, we'll talk a little bit about the purpose of coaching, and where this is more about like having a common understanding of what we're doing together, like what's our purpose, what's our journey going to look like. And after that, we'll engage in a short activity on having conversations on belonging and equity. And I thought I'll give a short break, but since you'll be leaving, maybe we'll zoom through it if you don't mind, so that we can cover everything. And after that, we'll just talk briefly about the difference between coaching and consulting. And this came up in my coaching training, and I thought this was a very interesting, shift of roles that we don't identify, but while we are doing it, we are doing both. But I didn't realize that they were two separate things that it doesn't matter that if they go hand in hand, but we should know that we're switching roles. And the last half is the part where I'm going to be, sharing with you some resources on links and templates on coaching, and then our work, like what do I want out of this whole thing? Like, how are we going to collect evidence along the way? And then I will need sign up for the observations that I'll be doing 2 days and the PLC date. So just the logistical part of it. Okay. Okay, so did that move on to here? So, guiding question on, this is our guiding question on equity. So how might coaching lead to transformative conversations about equity issues in CS? So, I mean, I'm not going to be talking about computer science and teaching computer science and integrating computer science, because we all know how important it is and how it can be integrated in on content areas. But our conversations are going to be more about how can we have those transformative conversations, which leads to equity, which leads to dealing with equity issues. And now here I'm going to like share with you Elena Aguilar's statement on every conversation in computer science is a conversation about equity. And she talks about the 3 Bs, and one being starting with beliefs, behaviors, and the state of being. So those are the 3 big things that kind of govern how we approach things. Our beliefs are the things that through which we look through our lenses, and that's where we will start by understanding ourselves and unpacking our own identity and how it influences how we see things and how we build relationships. And when our beliefs affect our behaviors, and unconsciously we kind of get conditioned with our thinking, is like how these things influence us when we grow up, and how these responses, family and the messages that we get, we understand that this is the way to behave. So that kind of influences our behaviors. And state of being is how we show up. What is our goal and what is our vision? So these 3 things kind of work together. And when we talk of transformational conversations, we are seeking to cultivate growth in those areas, and also seeking to center our work around change. So in order to be effectively working in equity, we must first turn our focus inwards, like understand our work with intention and put in time, energy, and go on ongoing learning and reflection. So that's what we'll be doing. It's kind of like more of reflection of our work, of our understanding, like where does those thinking originate, and how does it come up with us. So moving on, as I said, I'm going to do a crosswalk between the two. So on both sides, you will see there's the SVF vision statement, which is right here. And that I've got from the SVF playbook. I'm sure you must have seen that one, right? It is right here. And I have the link right down there too. And on the right-hand side, I have the CSTA coaching toolkit. And you must be wondering, what is that? And maybe you know about it. But this is a Computer Science Teacher Association toolkit prepared by teachers who made it easier to teach computer science standards. And they created a toolkit, a coaching toolkit to be able to make it easier to teach those standards. And I have been referring and using their resources to do my coaching work. So we will be going in here too to look at some resources and templates, and feel free to use it with your teachers too. So some of the things that we'll do, you can totally transfer and do it with the teachers too. So why this alignment is just to show that when we're doing the work with equity, we are kind of following SVF's vision of creating a supportive environment that empowers teachers, that aims to inspire and guide teachers towards excellence, and also is student-centered, fosters professional growth, and promotes collaboration. And it also nurtures student growth and positively impacts the classroom culture. And you will see that I've kind of color coded it, so kind of found that overlap and alignment. And that's what this is all about. And on the bottom, you will also see the link for the CSTA toolkit from where I've got this. And we can explore that. I will go through that later, but that's there for you to look into later. The next one is the SVF core values. So again, this is also taken from the SVF playbook. So these are the 6 core values which SVF wants to integrate in all the lessons, in all the work that they are doing. And the next slide has, again, the coaching work for equity in computer science. The second standard for computer science is coaching for equity. And this is the paragraph taken from there. So what I had thought that we will go into breakout rooms and kind of do, again, an alignment, just like I did in that. So now it's just you and me. So maybe we can pick one of the core values. So take a minute to read through the core values and again, go back to the other slide and see where do you find some alignment, like what sentences or statements come across which you think resonates what SVF core values stand for. So I'll give you a minute or two to just go through it. And actually, I had on the next slide, I have this Jamboard. So if you click on the Jamboard, let's do it together. So I have these core values here. And I did the first one, which says empower students. We commit to creating communities focused on maximizing student success, nurturing their curiosity, and instilling confidence to overcome challenges. So from the CSTA coaching paragraph, I picked up something which matched this one. So maybe you can look up something, and I'll give you like 5 minutes to find some correlation in any of the core values. So if you go to the next one also, so you can just put a sticky there.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. I had some music too. Would you like some music in the background?
If you want to, sure.
It's too quiet. Okay.
Oops, I was trying to add more to the sticky note.
No worries.
Yeah, this is the third or fourth one, the
Yeah.
green one.
Okay. And you can do the others too, like the other core value. Can
Sure.
they're all, yeah. Oh, maybe another minute or two. Did you get any more stickies anywhere?
I added an orange one too.
Okay, great.
For the very last one.
Okay. Oh,
Yes, they're almost 1-to-1, so they're very closely
okay.
aligned.
Yeah. I mean, if you go onto the other the other slides in the Jamboard, those are the other core values. So you could even like, uh, uh, connect it to the core values with the CSTA coaching for equity. You could find some more that may match with the other core value for. Hi, Teresa. Uh,
Hi.
I,
Sorry,
I,
my Zoom was updating and it took 12 minutes, but then I don't have good reception where I'm at. Can you
okay.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I just turned off the music. Yes, I can hear you now. So, are you done with your session?
My like school.
Were you in a coaching, uh, in a meeting right now?
Sorry, I don't understand what.
Were you in a session, like a coaching session?
No, this is my first specific coaching session ever.
Okay. Okay. Hi. So, are you driving right now?
My sister's driving. I'm in the passenger seat.
Okay. 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 So, no worries. Um, uh, we just started our meeting and we have, introduced ourselves. With me is Joshua, and I wonder if you know him and have you met in your sessions yet? No?
I have
Okay.
not.
Okay. So a little bit about me. I'm Anupama Gupta. You can call me Anu. And I work at SCC, Santa Clara County Office of Education, and I'm the EdTech coordinator. And I am doing this coaching work with SVEF. And I'm excited and looking forward to coaching for equity this year with you. I had been a coach for 201 course last year. So which one are you doing this time?
Both 201 and 202.
Okay, great. So, and is this your first year coaching this year?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Welcome. So I just was talking a little bit about what is equity and why is it important in computer science. And we were doing a crosswalk between the SVF vision and SVF core values and the coaching for equity in computer science. And I've been using a computer science toolkit to use to get, to help me with the coaching and support, find resources for coaching. So that's where we were, and we were doing a crosswalk between the two. So I wonder, by what time will you be reaching home? Would you be able to participate in some activities with us?
I can participate on my phone if that's okay. We're on a road
Yeah.
trip to LA right now, actually.
Oh, oh my God. No worries. I hope whatever you can do, but I hope you will be listening very carefully because that's the most important part.
Right.
Okay, sure. So I'm going to move on. Thank you, Joshua, for working with me. And let's move on to the next one. So this was a crosswalk, and just to kind of reiterate that our work that we will do together kind of aligns with SVEF's vision and core values. So it's not something extra or more that you're doing. So moving
All right.
on. Okay. Why is this? So to get this work, to have all of us have a common understanding, I have this, a statement, a work group's purpose statement, which I would have liked your thoughts on. And maybe, Teresa, you can just let me know if you agree with something or you want to add something +1 to it. And this is again on a Jamboard. So maybe whenever you reach someplace and tomorrow or whenever, if you get a chance, you can, add your stickies by sharing your thoughts or adding anything more to it. Because I would love to have all of us have a same understanding of what we're doing, and we are in this together with the same purpose. So I'm going to go read slowly with you. The purpose of a group of dedicated educators is to champion equity and inclusion within computer science education.
I don't know. You can water them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Through reflective thinking and transformative conversations, we can support and develop instructional coaching programs that address equity issues in CS. So I've highlighted reflective thinking and transformative conversations, and because that's what we will be engaging in a lot, being reflective on our thoughts, on our actions and our behaviors, and also having those transformative conversations. And I just explained earlier that those transformative conversations are more centered around Elena Aguilar's Coaching for Equity, where she talks about the 3 Bs, our beliefs, our behaviors, and our state of being. So our behaviors are a lot governed by what we believe in. It's the lens through which we see things, and how can we dig deeper into what are those beliefs and see some of our, delve deeper and some of our look where those, our biases or our, our questions or doubts are there. So, understanding ourselves first, unpacking our beliefs. And the next one is by understanding our own cultural perspectives and implicit biases, our goal is to ensure that we are able to meet the varying cultural and diverse needs of individual students. We aim to develop not only technical skills in CS, but also increase positive identity, students' self-efficacy, and capacity in CS. I think that's the most important statement is when we are coaching or when we are working with teachers, and when teachers are working with students, it's not just about them knowing how to code and create something, but also if we are creating that positive environment where students feel that they develop their confidence and feel that they can work with computer science is not just coding, but something more than that, those skills of learning of future ready skills. So I have this again in a Jamboard. So going back to this one. So Joshua, if you can go back to the Jamboard and slide 7. So Teresa, that's where whenever you reach or whenever you get a moment, if you can add some, your thoughts around it, around this purpose statement, because that's what will be our core, guiding path of why are we here, what are we doing together, is just having those reflective conversations, transformative conversations about how do we develop and increase positive identity of students and self-efficacy and capacity in CS.
Can you actually send me the Jamboard link in the chat?
Sure, I will do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, I did not see the message. And right there. So Joshua, if you can add like any of your wonderings or any questions or thoughts, or if you want to just say +1 or anything, I would love to hear from you, because this is just my brainchild. Like I've thought about it, but and we are all in this together and we're all working on it together. So I would like to get your perspective on it too. Thank you. So just a couple minutes for this. That, I just want that our work together, our time together is worthwhile, and we go back with some good understanding and thinking around equity and CS. Another minute. Any thoughts, Joshua? Do you want to share anything? You could just let me know.
I added the yellow Post-it note. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's true.
I had some speakers from Google during the Hour of Code last year, and they had 7. They sent 7 different engineers, and it was awesome seeing a wide variety. There was someone from India, someone from China, someone from Hong Kong, someone from California. So it was cool just seeing all the a wide variety represented at Google.
That's awesome.
They're all different capacities of computer science.
That is great. That is awesome. Yes. Okay. Well, we'll move on to the next because I know, Joshua, you have to leave. So let me try to pack everything in the next work hour, 1 hour that we have. So this was that. And again, that brings us back to the question of what are some things you might tell yourself when coaching for equity in CS? And if you can put your response in the chat. What are some things you might tell yourself when coaching for equity in CS? And some of these activities you could do with your, teachers too, when you have your PLCs and post-observation discussions.
Is this Jamboard, um, are we moving along with the Jamboard, or am I supposed to press next on my own? Where do I see the slide exactly? Are you able to hear me?
We can't hear you. You're muted, Anna.
Oh,
Sorry, I turned my speaker out. Yes, I can hear you, Teresa. Just a second. I will give you the link to the slide deck in a minute. Uh,
got it.
Yeah. I should have. Okay, just give me 1 second. Where is my chat? Here it is. Right there. So we are on slide 11.
Got it. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay. So oh gosh, what is this jumping out? So what are some things you might tell yourself when coaching for equity? And I see, Joshua, you've written about like pair share, using the resources that SVF has already developed because you are a pro. You've been with SVF, working with them for the last 4 or 5 years. So you must have definitely dug deep and found all the resources that are there. So great doing that. And of course, making sure the questions are fair and unbiased, focusing on reflection and having those conversations are important for sure. Okay, so moving on. So again, this is taken from SVF playbook, where they talk about the fostering a culture of belonging. And that again, totally meshes with equity and inclusion, what we are talking about. How can we create a sense of belonging so that students feel, it's a place for student-led learning. It's time for them to, feel that they can build collaborative communities, they can work together, and it's a place of nurturing, a place of nurture where they bloom and blossom into feeling confident that they too can do computer science and excel at it. Okay, so here are 2 prompts which I would like you to complete. And this is an activity you can do with your teachers. I feel a sense of belonging in CS educator space when.
Did you want us to respond to that, or are
Yes,
you just
please.
showing
No,
us,
can
like,
you
what
please?
we should?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, write it in the chat. I feel a sense of belonging in CS educator space when. So if you can complete the prompt in the chat, please. And oops. Talk to other teachers and share my experiences with them. Yes. When I feel that my kids share the same passion to educate with CS knowledge, especially those from minority communities. So true. And a sense of belonging is lacking in CS education when, for myself, students, teachers, and others. So complete the prompt. A sense of belonging is lacking in CS education when students don't see themselves in examples, making sure they are diverse. So true. Others like yourself are not immersed in the field. That is so true. I mean, we always want people to share the stories where they have had, you know, they have thought out of the box, and it's not been an easy ride for them, because that inspires us to be able to achieve that. Yes, even I can do it. Thank you so much for sharing and completing these prompts. And you could do that, as I said, with the teachers too. Okay, so moving on. I don't know why this is giving me a little problem. So I'm going to share with you wonderful quotes by Dr. Sean Ginwright. And I'm going to read to you slowly so that everything, like you also enjoy what he just said. He says about belonging. Belonging is a mutual exchange of care, compassion, and courage that binds people together in a way that says you matter. It means that because you are a human being, you have the ordained right to be a member of this group. Belonging, unlike kinship, requires agreement among groups to form meaningful connection and purposeful membership. Belonging provides us with an identity, a sense of meaning, connection, and purpose. And Dr. Wright, he is from San Francisco, and amazing. And he has written about equity and work with justice. So I thought it's a wonderful, quote by him, which kind of inspires you to keep doing what you're doing and keep the equity focus in mind. Okay. So that was my other activity, was in the breakout room to go and answer these two questions. Is how might having conversations about belonging in CS open doors to conversations about equity in CS, and what equity conversations might surface from this idea of belonging? And I will go on to the next slide. So this one, these are some possible paraphrasing stems. And I know, Joshua, you must have seen in the playbook, you have some of these paraphrasing stems too in the playbook. So these are some, this is more about like active listening and critical questioning. So as a coach, how can you actively listen, and how can you guide the conversations by asking critical questioning? So these are just some, possible sentence stems that can be used to guide coaching conversations. So going back to this, these are two questions, and I have this link right here. If you click on that, and so this was like when we had more people, we would have gone into breakout rooms and in pairs completed these questions. So if you can just, like Teresa and Joshua, maybe you can each be on the same one, or you can choose. I mean, you can be in group 1 and group 2 and respond to these questions. It's like, how might having conversations about belonging in CS open doors to conversations about equity in CS? So just a few bullet points. No, you don't have to write paragraph, just a few thoughts that come to your mind. And the second question is, what equity conversations might surface from this idea of belonging? So I'll give you a couple minutes to think and respond to these two questions.
I'm able to edit this doc, or am I writing it in the chat? Sorry.
You can write in the chat. Let me just double check
Okay.
if I have given you the editing rights. Everyone has it or not. Yes, you do. So you can go ahead and write. Sorry for my
Okay.
miscommunication. But yeah, you can go ahead and write in the document.
All right.
But now
Yes. You both can either work together or be on separate boxes. It's up to you. Yeah, both of you can do the same question.
I have access to this document. Is it in a link in the slides? Do I click it from the
Yes,
slides or?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
it is in the slide. I think it's the slide number, gosh. Yeah, it is slide number 17. Great wonderings and great questions. I'm sure, Joshua, you must have some experiences that go with it and some stories that you could tell, right? Interesting.
Yeah, like I said, a big part of it is having the media samples that are used, making sure they're
Yes,
diverse, not just one type.
yes,
They make big strides with that, being much more. When I was working with code.org, they have a lot of posters that have like people that talked about businesses and out of the
yeah,
box things that normally wouldn't be included in computer science. So it's good to
yeah,
open and broaden the field.
yes. I mean, it's the first there's a barrier that comes right. That's like the first thing that comes in people's mind is like computer science is not for me, or is it just coding? Is it just math? So those are some barriers, and some just don't identify themselves as that is for me. Like they will say, my brother plays with this and my brother does that, but not me. Like if it's a girl, she wouldn't choose that. So lots of things about.
Yeah, and out of my in
Mhm.
middle school, out of my class of 30, I only had 3
Yeah.
girls. So it's
Oh
the same
God.
thing. In the summer
Yeah.
programs, I had more than 60 or 70% of the students were female. So there's a
Uh-huh.
much wider variety, at least in the places that I went, that were
Yeah.
catching that, casting that net to get more, to be more inclusive,
Yes. Yeah.
which is good.
That is good. And that's where, that's our opportunity also to just build their confidence and remove all those barriers and hurdles that they think are there if they pursue this kind of work. And yes, and Teresa, I can see, is that Teresa writing? And I can see her thoughts too. So great. Is this group inclusive? Does it include me and people like me? Good one. Yes. Great wonderings. Like, how do you get interested in CS? And that's where our work begins, with the beliefs and behaviors of people. Like, what are your beliefs? Like, when we are little, we grow up learning some things, and that's what unconsciously starts governing how we behave and how we act. And that's where we need to, dissect and see why we're behaving like this and what's stopping us from achieving what others can do. That is so true. Wonderful, great reflections. And this again, if you would like to do with your, teachers, about if you have an opportunity, this could also be done. I had marked in my thing as a break, but would you mind if I continue, Joshua and Teresa, because I know you have to go. Thank you. Teresa, is that okay with you? I'm going to just go ahead
Yeah, of
because,
course.
yeah, so that let's get done and we can be done faster and, earlier. So that's
Okay.
works in our favor. So let's move on. Okay. Okay. And it's like timer everywhere because I was trying to, oh gosh. Okay, so here's the fun one. I really like this two different definitions of coaching and consultancy. And I did not realize that I was doing both when I was coaching, that I was doing both, not realizing that there were two different roles that I was playing. And there's a fine line which differentiates both of them. So here are two images, which is an analogy of coaching and consulting. So how might these two pictures be connected to the ideas of coaching and consulting? So I know it's a little hard to, train your mind to think, but think about with the angle of coaching and consulting. What do these images, what thoughts do they bring to you when you think of those two terms and then you look at this image? And you can write in the chat quick thoughts that come to your mind. Coaching and consultancy. I know, yes. Quite similar, besides sailing, being similar to teaching, learning. Okay. Let's hear what Teresa has to say. One boat seems to go wherever the other is being controlled to go into a specific. Okay. Yeah, I see that. The person holding and guiding, kind of. I was looking at it and I was like struck with the difference. Like, one is totally like blue, like you can't see the difference between the sky and the ocean, right? And the other one has like stormy ocean and some clouds in the sky. So I would say that coaching is when things are going smoothly, and consultancy is like you switch to that role when the person is seeking for some support, some strategies they need, and some when their going is a little rough, that's when you need some consultancy support. And coaching is kind of your digging deeper and being reflective, and it's going smooth. So any other thoughts that now, and like you look more into it, I'm sure more ideas come to your mind. Anything else, or we can move on? Good to go ahead?
Just question, are you saying that in times of dear need, is when you should do consulting over coaching? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. So it's kind of like coaching is more like deep reflective thinking, and consultancy is when the coachee feels that when you are leading them with those questions, they are not able to come up with some ideas, resources, and they look up to you and say, can you show me some strategies? Can you model for me some things? So that's when you kind of shift your role to become a consultant. And so you're right, like that's what you're saying, because I was doing both. I was thinking I'm coaching, but I was actually consulting by sharing what I did so many years ago or what worked for me in my classroom. But when you're doing that, that's actually consulting. And coaching is more when you are just guiding them into their own reflective thinking and own, finding answers by your questioning. They come up with their own answers by your questioning. So
got it. That makes a lot of
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I know. So that's why it was so interesting. I said I have to share this. This is a kind of a new learning. Okay, so here it is. The purpose is when you invite thinking around content, and that could be here computer science and equity, or processes, like you are asking them, how do you think you can solve this problem? What are some strategies that have worked for you before? What do you think? So you are just having them dig deeper and think about strategies, about relationship building, about what systems worked before. What do you think? Do you think this could work in this situation? And that is defined by the coachee. So the coachee is kind of leading their own learning. You are just there to guide their thoughts. And consulting is when you give information, you provide suggestions, you advise or options, share research strategies and resources as requested by the coachee. So how might you know your intention? So how will you know, is it time for me to coach or is it time for me to consult when you work as a CS coach? So think about it a little bit, put it in your mind, because the next one, sorry. So what might be some scenarios or examples of each of these situations, and how did you determine what to do when? How might be your developing criteria? What might be your developing criteria for each? So now that your brain's working, like you're thinking, what could be my criteria for each? So how do you know when to coach? This is when you know how to coach. The person is responding to coaching questions, deepening their thinking, and or aware on some level what they know and don't know. And you coach when the person is not responding to coaching questions, they are not aware or are feeling unsure of their resourcefulness or have clearly asked for consulting, like show me how to do it. That's when you consult. Okay, moving on. So these are some, this is like the move when you make, when you realize that I need to switch my role. So you check in with the coachee and client through a paraphrase that consulting is what the person is wanting. So you kind of let them know that I'm going to switch my role. I'm going to become a consultant. And this is because that's where I feel that's what you're asking me. Shift your nonverbals to show that you're no longer coaching. Proceed with offering options, research, think aloud and say, oh, okay, I'm going to put myself in your position and let's see, and think how I would address this, or role play. And then shift back to coaching by asking a question. So again, when you lead them on a little bit and got them thinking, then you can easily shift back to your coaching stance again by asking again a deeper thought-provoking question, and then continue to pause, paraphrase, and pose questions. And you know about those, like pausing and paraphrasing. So you're giving them more think time. You're helping them process their thoughts and, come up with their own ideas. So that will like build their confidence into that they are on the right track. So those are some consulting stance moves. And I have here again a breakout room activity, but since we are here, I'm just going to, again, I have some sentence stems for paraphrasing. And sorry. I have a link which I will share with you, which I thought was a great one for, just practicing about coaching and consulting. So let me put that link in the chat for you so you get to see what it is, and then let's me chat. So you can go on this document. I think I have it open. So these are some possible topics we thought we're going to engage in, like scenarios, like think about like where would you coach? What will, if you were coaching, what will it look like? If you were consulting, what will it look like? So these were some possible topics here. And you could, let me look at the time. It's about 5 o'clock. Maybe we can spend 5 minutes on this, like just practice one of the topics. Do one coaching, what could be your response, and one consultancy, what could be a response. So whichever topic you would like to, and you can write on this slide deck, whichever topic you think like speaks to you and you would like to, write your thoughts on. If you were a coach, how would you respond? And if you were a consultant, how would you respond? So exactly 5 minutes so that we can get to the end of the logistical part of it. Did we lose Teresa?
We lost Teresa, yeah.
Oh no, where did she go? Maybe she's driving and she's in the hills.
You want me to write this in chat, or where do you want me to edit the
Oh,
document?
in the
Where do you want-
in the slide. In the slide, you
Okay.
can pick one of the slides and just pick a topic that you would like to experiment with. So just pick one topic, write it in the bar up where it says topic of conversation, and then do what are some examples of what a coach would say, and what are some examples what a consultant might say. Any topic speaks to you? I'm sure you've come across quite a few. Yeah, this one. Those kids who are suffering in math, and how can we justify putting a focus in computer science? Okay, she's here. Hi, Teresa, you're back. I just put the link of the document in the slide in the chat. So
Yes, sorry. Yes, I was reading over the topics.
okay, yeah.
Are these topics or something we're supposed to engage in discussion with our teachers?
No. So this one is for you as a coach. So these are possible topics, just ideas. So pick any one of them, and whichever like speaks to you. And we're just like practicing what will be our coach move and what will be our consultant move. So you can pick any one topic and put it in the one of the slides, and just give me some, examples of what if you were behaving like a coach, what would be your response? And if you were a consultant, what would be your response?
Got it.
Mhm. And we'll spend another like a minute or two because I know we're impacted by time and I want to really get the end part done fast. So just another minute or two.
Slides. I
Did
can't
you
edit
get
the
the link?
slides. I got the
Oh,
link. I can view the slides, but I would have to open it with the Google Slides, which my app is not updated.
oh,
Um,
okay.
but I
Okay,
can
yeah.
try to respond in the chat if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. You can put it in the chat. Like your coach move and your consultants move. Mm.
Let's see. Hmm.
Joshua, do you have like some kind of like what kind of questions do you think you would ask? Like, you could refer to the paraphrasing slide deck, which is it has some sentence stems. Maybe you could use some from there, or do you have any examples of what questions you would ask the teachers?
I've never heard of a difference between consulting and coaching until you mentioned it 5 or 10 minutes
Yeah,
ago. So before
yeah,
then, it's all just been to me based on whatever the person needs. What I think
yeah.
would be more helpful. Sometimes I say,
Mhm,
how can I help you? Do you want examples? Do you want to
mhm,
hear what's previously worked? And then
mhm.
sort of have that guide the directions.
Yeah, yeah, same here. That's what we like right away is like ask them like what do you need. If you need strategies, here are some strategies. If you need some resources, here are some resources. But when I went through this training myself, I realized that that's mostly like what we usually jump to, like try to give solution and help them right away as soon as possible, while coaching over here requires us to just keep asking them to get them come up with the answers and not us giving them the answers. So I know it needs a lot of practice. I myself keep doing that, is like keep jumping to giving the answers, and have to like literally remind myself that I need to guide their thinking and let them come up with the answers themselves. And thank you, Teresa. You are doing amazing participation through chat. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Um, I think you can begin. So she picked the same topic as you, Joshua, about, oh no, this one is about basic skills that you need in beginner CS, and how much math and writing do you think is sufficient to begin CS? And good. So I know practice, practice, practice. That's how you will get better at this. And I'm practicing too and learning about the differences. Okay, so I'm going to jump into about the logistical part and what do I need, what's going to happen from now till the end. So moving on to the next slide. I'm sure you're excitedly looking forward to this one. Um, so this is the one where I'm sorry about that. Jumping. So the first one is the CS Instructional Practice Evidence Guide. So this I'm hoping will be very useful to you. So let me share that with you. This one. Okay, so click on the link. I think you can click on it. So I got this this whole Google Doc from CSTA Toolkit, which I was sharing with you earlier. I added on this on the right side is the SVF core values. I felt like, oh my God, this is such a wonderful document now. So when you are observing, when you are in the classroom with the teachers, you are not only, you have a checklist of what you see, what you observe, and you can also show the alignment with the core values. Now, a reminder with this is that, of course, you are not going to find all the standards being implemented or evident when you are in the classroom. So it could be something that you could ask the teacher ahead of time, like, what do you want me to observe? Like, what is your focus? Are you like one of the standards? So you have them pick what they would like you to observe and give feedback to you on. So you can pick any one of them. So, and it has a checklist of like, what do you observe? What do you see students doing? What do you see teachers doing? And then the best part to it is that correlation with the SVF core values. So you can check off. So why are we doing this? Because we want kind of like an evidence. We're gathering evidence that we are seeing core values being implemented, observed, and evident. And of course, equity and inclusion, which, as I told you, kind of aligns with SVF core values. And you're also giving valuable feedback to the teachers of what you observed. Sometimes teachers are doing so many things, they don't even realize that they addressed so many of these things, as amazing teachers are, they are on the spot doing so many, adopting so many strategies, addressing so many issues, and with expertise, and they don't even realize that they're doing that. And it's sometimes good to get that acknowledgement, that appreciation, that you observed and you saw and you noticed, and applaud them for that. And wherever and it's kind of like glows and grows, and where you feel as a coach you could guide their thinking further, like how would, like if they say this is not, this didn't work, I wanted it to work like this, it didn't. So that's where you become a coach and ask them those questions. So this is one document which you can make a copy and you can share with the teachers and say, this is what I may be using, I would like to use. You are like, it's not evaluative at all. So that's like number one, it's not evaluative at all. It is just for us to, for whatever you're working on, you tell me what you want me to observe in the classroom, and that's what I'll be doing. And that's what I will be giving you the feedback. So this is one document that I thought was amazing and all in one place. Oh, one more thing I want to show you with this one. Sorry. Oh gosh, yeah. So on the bottom, and you can see the evidence here. So I want you to also like collect some artifacts. Like if they're okay with taking pictures, if, even pictures of their work, or pictures of, posters that the teachers develop, which is like, how they're meeting the needs of diverse learners. They have it in different languages, or they have the instructions in a poster or something which they develop and they have displayed it around in the classroom. So multiple means of, accessing information. If they're doing that, you can collect those evidence. Please put it here. I've also asked Alexandra to have, in your reflection form, to have a place for them for you to drop those pictures. But I'm still talking to her. But if nothing, this is the place where you can do that. Any instances, any discussions which you feel like, you can leave it anonymous, but it is something that would be like valuable examples, which we would love to hear and share, like you observed and it happened, and we would love to hear that. So here's a place where you can document and put it here, because that's what at the end is actually, we need some kind of documentation of your work as a coach, as an equity coach, and as a person for someone who's been it's like a journey. So just a reflection of your work or what you've been doing. And the next link is again from the playbook, SVF playbook, where, I have those, these components listed in that guide, but here is another further breakdown. So if you need more understanding around what does collaborative learning, need more information on that, it's right here. So this is just there for your purposes, but the top link is the one that you'll be using. The other one is just an additional one. Okay, so here's another one. This is amazing. I used it on myself. This is again from the CSTA toolkit. And if you click on that, so this is a teacher self-reflection tool. And the way it is set up is you choose your pathway. Are you a new teacher, new to CS? Are you an experienced teacher but new to CS? Are you a new teacher with CS experience, or you're an experienced teacher with experienced CS teacher? So you choose your pathway. And then, so I'm going to click on it. So how to complete the self-reflection. So standard 1 is more content specific. So that's not same for everybody, because it is more like K2 has a different computer science standards, 3.5 has a different computer science standards. So for that, they have a separate document right here. So what you can do, you have 3 options. You can preview it. You can click on it, preview it. You can create your own copy, and that's what teachers will do, is create their own copy, or you can download it. So that's for standard 1. And then if you scroll up, here you have standards 2 to 5, and these are generic. It can be applied to all grades from, K to 5. It can be, 2 to 4. Standard 1 is more content specific, so that's why they didn't put it in the above ones. So they'll have to do 2 of them. They'll do 1 here and 1 here. So I'm going to click on one of them. And this is a great tool for just teacher self-reflection, like how much how much, is it my strength or is it not? So here you see how it does the rating. Taking time to open. So you select and say, is that my strength or is it something that I need to work on? So it's your own self-reflection. So you can give this document to the teachers and they don't need to share that with you. It's their own self-reflection. And at the end of the thing, they can do another one to see their growth, their, where they are, their understanding. So this is just a tool which you can share with the teachers. It's up to them. They want to use it or don't want to use it, but you can tell them that this will kind of give them like a own understanding of where they stand in understanding the CS standards. So that is that. And moving on to this one, that, as I said, is collecting evidence and journaling. So if you click on the first link, that is your own personal. So here you will see it's like asking you to make a copy. So this is your own personal copy, and no one's going to look at it. It's yours. Let me see if I have that open here. So yeah, I'll make a copy. So this is your personal journal, your own personal journey, where you are putting down your thoughts, your reflections. And here are some questions. What are some things you are learning about yourself as you coach for equity? What might be your most important point that you will hold on to about CS coaching for equity? Or what are some equity challenges you're facing in your work as a CS coach? So these are just questions that I've put for examples, not that you have to, respond to all of them. But this is your personal journal where you would be jotting and just putting down your reflections, your thoughts. And you will not be sharing this with anybody. But when we have our PLCs, this is what you would be referring to in our discussions. So Any questions on that? So that's one part of it, is your own personal journal. You make a copy, you write down your thoughts, your reflections. You're not going to share that with anybody. But when we meet for our PLC meetings, we will have some conversations. And that's when you may refer back to your thoughts and share with us. Got it? Okay. So that's one part. Teresa. Yes. Yes, Teresa. I didn't hear you, Teresa.
So the PLC meeting dates, can you actually,
Yes.
PLC meeting dates, can you send those out?
Yes, I
Okay,
have
thank
it. And then that would be my next thing. So I'm going fast because 5:30 Joshua has to leave. Okay, so the next part, which is the SVF core value areas of celebration. So what that would be the reflection tool. Remember, I was saying that I'm talking with Alexandra about fixing that final observation tool. I think you are aware of this one and you have seen this. So this is like your final observation tool that you would be using. And I wanted to add here a place for you to drop the images or, artifacts or something. So that's what I will be asking her to do. And instead of calling the final observation reflection tool, it would be like our post observation reflection tool. So that you will be filling after you observe a teacher, you will fill up this, put in any evidence of any artifacts, pictures, images. If this doesn't work where you can put the images, remember that other document in the evidence portion, you can put those things there. So this actually captures what I have in yellow in this box where it says we want to know some areas of celebration. Or, you saw some core values being reflected in student work. So it's just a showcase of your work as you observed teachers going through this coaching, through this computer science teaching. So one is your personal professional growth, which you would do in your document. And this one is more, yes, true. So it'll be two. So it'll be two. So you are observing them twice. Is that what it is? Yeah, so it would be 2 times. And in those 2 times, whatever evidence and artifacts you can gather, or like if teachers share with you, even when you're not there, maybe you can ask them to share with you, like if they made any, posters, or they saw some student work, or they saw, diverse population students, speaking about how excited they are about computer science, and they have that sense of accomplishment, and they say, we want to do this again next year. So anything that you can catch, any celebrations, any things that so last year you also had a pre and post for each one as well. So I'm going to check with Alexandra about what does she require, because I don't want to add to your plate another thing. I want to like embed it in this. So I'm going to check with her because I don't want too many documents for you to fill and done. Because as I told you, this is our work together and we're a team and I don't want extra work. It just has to align with what you're already doing. So let me check back with her because I was wanting to, that's what I wanted to talk with her, because I know there's this final reflection and I don't want too many documents. But I just wanted to now tell you what am I looking for. So I'm looking for that personal professional growth documentation, which I won't look, but we will have discussions in PLCs. And the other one is this post-observation document where I want you to collect as many gems and in artifacts and conversations which reflect equity, inclusion, sense of belonging that you observe and you find. And if you could just showcase that with me. Okay, so, and the last part is the PLC dates. So here's so Teresa, on slide 30, I have the link for the spreadsheet, Google spreadsheet. I have 2 dates. I have 27th June or 28th June. I hope it works for both of you, and I don't know about the third person. And the second PLC date is either 16 July or 17th July. And I don't know actually when does your course starts? Like when do the teachers start? And when
It
do you end?
depends. It
Okay.
depends because they're from various districts.
Yeah.
But I would say within the next 2 weeks.
Okay. So I'm just wondering my last PLC date. I hope it's not when you are done. Or are you still, are the
Let me
teachers
double
still
check.
teaching? Yeah,
Let me double check my calendar.
I wasn't sure about that.
There's 6 different ones for me too, so I'll double check.
Okay, so,
Oh, I
but these,
put
yeah,
here.
yeah.
I put here the July 24th is the last day for my teachers.
Oh, awesome. So 17th is not late or 16th. So yeah, okay. So, and I don't know about the time. You can let me know the time. I have flexibility in that. So whichever one, please let me know the time. Is it like after like at 2 or 3 o'clock? So I can set that up. And I think it's 2 hours. So each PLC. So please, and then on the other, tabs that you see, Coach 1, Coach 2, I also want to know like 2 observation dates when I will come to observe you. So you don't have to fill it right now. Whenever you can fill that time and give me like about 2 or 3 options so that I can look at my calendar and see. I hope one day works. So give me like 2 options of observation 1